And there we go. Good evening, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Almost. Kind of. Happy Boxing Day. That's what I was looking for. Hopefully you're all having a great time. You're enjoying Christmas and hopefully avoiding the human malware as much as you possibly can at the moment. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I've got a new microphone set up at the moment. I'm using my new Boya microphone, the BYMW6S. WM6S. Something along those lines. Who cares? It's Christmas. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Please let me know in the chat box if you can hear me satisfactorily, whether it's too loud, too quiet, whether it sounds awful. Please let me know what is going on. Now there is actually a bizarre amount of lag at the moment on the stream tonight. I noticed that when I clicked on the button earlier and it showed my part of my stream feed before the intro. So there's probably a good 6 or 7 seconds between you guys actually typing something and me being able to see it. So, and then probably another 7 or so seconds for my brain to process what you've actually written and for me to comment back to you. So yeah, there will be a little bit. Ugly Bob says, does your new mic help with slurred speech? Probably not, is the honest answer. I hope not. It's Christmas. We're just going to chill. Yeah, who cares? We're just going to chill tonight, take it easy, no pressure, just going to be calm, relax, chill. Kath's not even logged on to the computer yet. Just smooth and easy. So hopefully everyone's had a good Christmas and eaten way too much. I certainly have. Honestly, my eyeballs feel like they want to pop out of my actual skull where I've consumed so much food and drink. It isn't even funny. I think I have to get another one of my electric scales just so I can have one for each foot just to distribute the weight a little bit because it's not good, is it? All this stuff. Oh, and we got a super chat come in straight away from good old Ugly Bob, or Uggs as he's known to us. £5 and says, Merry Christmas, everybody, you filthy animals. Merry Christmas indeed. Thank you, Bob, for £5 super chat. For those of you who are new here, and you probably wonder what the hell's going on, I appreciate that. The super chat is linked to our RGB bulb. So when we get super chat, the RGB goes off, so it's like a visual representation. And also, Kath has to get up and get some exercise and turn off the studio light there, because we still haven't worked out how to get IFTTT to do that without spending money. We don't like spending money unless it's on actual tech that makes games faster. We like spending money on that. So Alexa says my browser crashed. Okay.
They were saying at one point it's a bit dark.
A bit dark? It does look a bit dark actually, doesn't it? Why is... Oh, that light's off up there. Hang on.
We don't usually have that one on there.
I can go over and actually... Oh, actually, yeah, it shouldn't be that dark, should it? It definitely does seem a bit... I said that earlier, didn't I? I said that looks a bit darker. I've been playing around with the ISO, I think. I've been playing around with all sorts of settings on that camera today. I was about to turn it off and turn it back on again. It'd be alright, but I better not do that, because that would be catastrophic. But anyway, seems the microphone's working. This has actually got a rated lifetime from the battery that is in there. The battery that is in there of 10 hours. So we'll try not to test 10 hours because that's a little bit extreme, to say the least. Is that better? I can't tell. It looks the same on there, I think. Yeah, actually, no, that is live, isn't it? Because that's me now. It's going to be one of those days. Right, let's stick that in my skyrocket. So I don't need that. Oh, and there we go. We've got another super chat. ClickTech Kev, $2.99, which used to be the price of Codemaster games back in the day on cassettes, where you could go into a post office and there would be a rack of games on cassette for Commodore 64, Spectrum, and you get Mastertronics, and there's some other one as well, I can't remember. They're like $1.99 or $2.99. So if you had a good one, it was like $2.99. A crap one would be $1.99. Those were the days. Picture looks a bit fuzzy around your face. No, I think that's just me. I think I do actually look like that. It might be the camera. I've done something to it today, I'm sure I have. I've recorded a video earlier with it and it looked a bit weird then. I hope I haven't changed something which actually makes like a big difference.
Has Kev broken that?
Who knows? Someone's fault. It's probably not mine. Ugly Bob, Amstrad, CPC 464. Oh yes.
Kev's broken that, hasn't he?
Kev's broken our light. No, we haven't. It's all good. We're all good.
Sorry, Kev.
Oh no, it's another one. Outlaw Fett has put 199 in. It says, hi Mike. Thanks, Outlaw Fett. God, bloody hell, those lights are bright after they've been off for a while. Jesus. Where's my bloody sunglasses? Where's my sunglasses? Put me.
Where's your hat?
I feel I can cope with the world.
Where's your hat?
I haven't got a hat.
You have?
Oh yeah, where's my hat? Actually, where is my hat? Oh, there it is.
Ready?
There we go. We're into the Matrix. And we're going to go proper rave style with my special hat.
You
As
can be Bez.
Look at the camera blur. You can tell what kind of a night it's going to be, can't you? I've got the limited edition Random Gaming in HD hat on, which was a surprise Christmas gift from a certain Mr. Bob, who, unfortunately, Bob has a tendency to get drunk. And when he gets drunk, his fingers do the typing and all kinds of weird stuff happens. So in this particular instance, I end up with a hat. Thanks, Bob. Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Exactly. Actually, that should be right there so I can actually see what I'm doing a bit more. It's such a weird angle. I've got to do something about this whole streaming setup, which actually goes on to the subject of this week's stream, I suppose. I might keep the hat on. What do you reckon? Keep hat on or hat off?
Limited edition, Mike.
I quite like the glasses. Stole them. When I was like mugging people. I wasn't. Got a bit of a beard going on as well. Getting a bit of Santa Claus. There's a bit of grey in there as well. There's actually quite a lot of grey. It's a bit concerning. We're all getting a little bit older. And we'll all be a year older in about 6 days' time. Now put on your headphones as well. Yeah, put some headphones in as well, and my sunglasses. That would be pretty fun.
You got your marmalade sandwich.
Outlaw Fett says, you like Michael Jackson? Hee hee, shabon, mother. Oh no, I can't say that. Demonetized immediately. Gangster Mike. This hat's great. Love it. And my daughter's already taken a shine to it. She's like, oh, that'd be great. That'd be really handy for the raves in the summer. Festivals, sorry. Festivals, not raves. Festivals are legal raves, aren't they? Technically. Tristan G's thrown $2 in the pot. It says, started on C64, now AMD, Mike's motion blur hat. Motion blur hat in the dark. Oh dear. Life doesn't get any easier at all. Glenn? It's a weird thing. This is weird with the amount of lag on this at the moment. Glenn's in the house. Or Glenn I should say hello to everyone, shouldn't I, really? It is traditional. But what it is polite, yeah. I'm not very good at polite half the time. So, Angry Doge was first. So, shout out to Angry Doge for being first. He likes that sort of thing. Jar 2016. Outlaw Fett. Joseph Jennings says, looking forward to this. You in the wrong stream. Paul Bakewell says, Merry Christmas all. And of course, obviously, Merry Christmas to all of you. If I haven't said it, I probably should have done already. Hopefully you've had a good one. Ours has been alright, actually. We didn't really do a great deal. Really, really quiet. Just us chilling. Actually, probably spent... It's probably the first time this year that we've spent more time in another room in the house. So it's kind of like... It's like being on holiday, isn't it? Spending time in another part of the house. Yeah. We're normally locked into this room, literally. Get up in the morning, come down. I sit in that corner, Kath sits in that corner, and we do what needs to be done. But Christmas Day, we get to sit on the sofa in comfort.
And you allow me in the kitchen.
And Kath was allowed in the kitchen momentarily to observe.
No, on a day-to-day. To make your drinks.
Oh dear. British Noob's in the house as well. He says first, you're not first.
But good morning to him.
Yeah. Dave Aitken says, just smashed a baked camembert and dough balls. Life is good. I don't know why do we do it to ourselves? We just eat ridiculously, like eyes bigger than belly, chuck all this food in, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I feel horrible.
I feel pregnant.
I do feel like I'm pregnant. I think I'm actually going to be the first man of 2021 to actually have a baby. It does feel like that, it really does. Oh dear. Atomoric says hello everyone. Skystalker's in the house also. WOPR. Is it WO or WQ? My eyesight is shocking. Yes, WOPR. That does stand for something, doesn't it? WOPR. I can't remember what it was. I think we did hear what it was before, but I don't remember. Skystalker says, I wonder if Chinese food is as greasy as Canadian. I tend to crash pretty good after a big plate. I am struggling. If it wasn't for the fact of doing this stream, definitely the eyeballs would have been going down. And I'd have been off to the races.
Yeah, I've got a back on the chair by the way.
Oh yeah, I forgot that, yeah. Ghost Adder says, Wagwan. Nice bit of a racial appropriation there, well done.
War Operation Plan Response.
Hey mate, how about that?
War Operation Plan Response. Whopper.
Ah, got it. I see. Ugly Bob's in the house, obviously. Paul Bakewell, I've said blah blah blah. Trev Goods in the house says Merry Christmas everyone. Outlaw Fett, we've said. I don't think I've missed anyone. Glenn Halfway. Aletta's in the house. Aletta, hopefully you're feeling better. She had most of her teeth out. There's definitely some kind of thing I can say about gums and stuff, but I'm not gonna. It's Christmas. Let's not go there. Calf's smiling already. I ain't even said nothing yet. Let's just get this hoodie off. MikesUnBoxing.com. Don't forget if you. Oh, actually, I better take my mic pack out, don't I? If I chuck that on the floor, that'll be 100 odd quid down the pisser. Shouldn't say pisser. Upsets YouTube. By the way, if you want your Mike's Unboxing hoodie for when it gets a little bit colder, which no doubt it will do, you can get them from patreon.com/Mike's Unboxing, and also on our Discord. There's a little bit on the Discord. You can go in there. You can chuck us a bit of PayPal money, and we'll flog you with some of our merch. How's that sound? Does that sound fair?
Tristan's off.
Tristan's off. Thanks, Tristan. Thanks for dropping in. Smash the like button on the way out. What else we got? Ghost Adder. Did I say Ghost Adder already?
Yeah, I think so.
British Noob says, can Mike play Wonderwall on the guitar? I can't play anything on the guitar. Literally, I am an absolute
Left-handed fool.
imbecile when it comes to playing guitar. Can't do a thing. Can't play chords, I don't think.
You can put strings in.
I can string them and I can tune them. I can't play them. I think it's because I've got these stupid sausage fingers that just don't happen.
The wrong way.
Yeah, I'm left-handed, so trying to play a guitar the other way and no.
You did try.
I have tried. It just does not work.
I think Bob wants the shirt off.
Shirt off as well. You want to see the man titties?
They're the Chinese food baby.
Chinese food baby is baking away in there. Angry Doe says lighting is a bit low. Is it still a bit low, or is it all right now? That stupid cam. That's the one thing. Actually, if anybody out there is considering starting up a YouTube channel and they want a camera to start with, let me know. You can have my Lumix cameras because I'm gonna have to replace them. Don't know why, but I think I should.
It's twins now.
Matthew Day says microwave cheeseburger at the ready. I'm beginning to think I should have gone for something like that, a little bit more
Subtle.
yeah, a little bit more lighter. Just can't help myself. Being a Taurian, for those of you that believe in horoscopes and all that kind of hippie stuff, Taurians are traditionally very gregarious, i.e. they just don't know when to stop. No kind of self-control, really.
Taurus, and I've got self-control.
You haven't got self-control at all, woman. You be eating packs of biscuits until they're just like fingers left. Seen the stuff behind your desk, I know this.
Yeah, I know when to stop. I've still got my pineapple fritters there.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, so the mic's working, blah, blah, blah. We will start talking about computer stuff in a bit. We will, honestly. We normally get about 20 minutes in before I actually say something of any real relevance to the channel. Dave Bell says, happy unboxing day to you all. Have you seen the Bother RAM modules? Bother RAM? I don't know what that is. Do not know this. Hey Mike, you need to turn up your lighting. You're kind of dark there.
You need to adjust that camera.
It's that bloody camera.
But you better wait a minute.
Picture looks fuzzy around my face. I don't know. I'm reading the old stuff. I'm gonna go back to where I was. Where was I? So someone super chatted the heck out of us then, didn't they? Outlaw Fett 199.
Yeah, we have that one, I think.
Playing anything fun? I'm playing the Mad Max game. No, I've not played that. I have spent most of the last week, I suppose, trying to get hold of the Epic games and waiting patiently until 4 o'clock every day for a new game. And it's been really disappointing, I've got to be honest with you. There's not, I know they're free games, so what do you expect? But when you get free games such as like Rocket League, CSGO, what else is there? Fortnite, I suppose you could add into that. Trackmania, all those kinds of games, which are actually bloody good AAA games, in my opinion. So when they give out these kind of half-baked things, Metro was a pretty good one recently on Epic Games. That was all right, but I had it anyway, so a bit gutted. So yeah, games-wise, I don't. Yeah, what happened as well? Yeah, Kev says the Epic game drops have been rubbish. They have. Why can't they give us something good, like maybe Cyberpunk 2077? That'd be pretty good. Because we know that's not a buggy shitfest. Oh no, sorry, it is. And I forgot to bleep that out, I do apologise. Yeah, I haven't played... I played one character through, because you get 3 characters, don't you? You can choose to start like the whatever it is, the whatever it is, and the whatever it is. And I chose the whatever it was, the first one. And I did the game through, played it through the story thing, didn't do the side missions much. And it's kind of like, okay, I'm done now. I can't really be arsed to play through it again. And I have actually tried playing it through as another character.
With a different wang.
And it's a different wang. And it's basically exactly the same game. There's no difference whatsoever. The story is tweaked slightly, but it's still the same story. And I really can't be arsed. So I think I'm about an hour, maybe half an hour into it. The second time round, it's like, nah, throw the joystick away, rage quit, not playing it anymore. So that's 50 quid well wasted on that. I'm really pleased that I paid 50 quid for Cyberpunk 2077 because it's given me at least minutes of enjoyment. Hopefully it gets better.
Alexa's trying to gun a big Burger King Whopper to death at the moment.
So yeah, games, I don't think games, there's been, I need a game which is a good game to play to get into. I seem to just keep on going back to the same games over and over. And it's really disappointing because all the games I play really well on my hardware. So there's no real incentive to upgrade, which is what the PC kind of whole experience is about. You go out, you buy a game, it runs like crap, you upgrade the hell out of your system until the next game comes out that runs like crap and you have to upgrade your system. Am I right? Is this where we're at? It is. I think that is a pretty accurate statement. I'm almost tempted to buy a crap PC to play games on and then see what I have to upgrade to actually make it playable. But then even a crap PC these days, because games scale pretty well, there ain't a lot of point. I do need to get back into Flight Sim 2020. That's one thing I definitely need to do because that is actually very enjoyable. I haven't got into it recently because I just simply have not had the time. But I'm definitely going to start making time. I'm going to chill out a little bit more in this next year and actually make some time for gaming and enjoying a PC rather than just spending my time editing on it. Yeah, I knew. I'm trying to think how I can say that without getting copyright strike thing banned, shadow banned, whatever. Mad Max is great fun. I might have to have a look at that. Good games, new games. Yeah, doesn't mean good, says James Miscellaneous. That is very true. And Mohsin Javed says, good evening again, Mike. Good evening. Yeah, it's Stolski says, I'm Polish and I tell Reds make a joke with Cyber 2077. It has. I don't know why they've managed to make it so. Don't get me wrong, it was enjoyable. It was quite a buggy mess. Let's be fair. And some of the weird graphical glitches. I think when it's actually in a story mode and you're playing the game, the glitches kind of, you're like, well, it doesn't matter because I'm just trying to get from point A to point B to get to the next point in the story. But then when you start playing it, doing the side missions, and there is actually focal point on the game itself rather than getting A to B, you do pick up, or you do notice more of the glitches. Now I did see today there was a video that was released that someone posted on our Discord, which was a one-click basically enhancement tool for Cyberpunk 2077, which I might actually do a full video on, but saying that, the video is actually very good anyway. And it does seem to add about 20 frames per second to even a modest system, so it might be worth doing it again with that. It's still buggy as hell though, like you're driving along and you all of a sudden you're stood on top of the vehicle, or your arms are outside and you're doing a starfish on your motorbike. It's like, come on, really? Yeah. I'm sure they just released that game purely and simply just to get it out before Christmas Day. Just so that they'd be like, right, pre-orders, yeah, get the money in. It's Christmas Day, everyone's got their presents. Whew, let's worry about the aftermath after the Christmas break. That does seem like what it's along. Oh dear. Sorry, I was just reading James's comment there. So I suppose really it comes back to PCs. And what PCs are we likely to actually be able to build in the next couple of months? There doesn't appear to be any end in sight for the Ryzen 5000 shortages. Cheers everybody, by the way. Merry Christmas. Lovely, lovely. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any real kind of bulks of stock coming in. From what we've seen here from us in the UK, and kind of this does take into account the European Union as well, all of the trucks which we've had piled up in the Dover area and Kent and what have you, because of the virus and because of Brexit and all that kind of stuff. So everything seems to be just taking a tumble backwards at the moment. And I don't know if the supply chain is going to rectify itself quickly or in the near term, long term, or even if it will at all. We still don't really know as a country, as British people, whether or not we're still going to get hit with kind of import and export taxes for European goods, which we do generally buy quite a lot of, or at least a lot of it does come via the supply chain from kind of China, from America, Australia, wherever, then comes into the European Union somewhere and then gets distributed from there outward. Specifically for me, people like Colink. Colink is essentially, I'm pretty sure they're kind of in and around Germany or somewhere like that, somewhere in that area. Forgive me, I don't know exactly where, but
Austria.
It could be Austria. No, that's Noctua. Noctua is Austria. Also, you've got Arctic as well. Arctic Cooling Products, they're Germany, or they're centering mostly around Germany. Inwin, I'm not sure about Inwin. I think Inwin might be, actually they might be. They could well be. But yeah, so there's a lot of things actually in the kind of the component side of things, and cases, coolers, all that kind of stuff, which could be potential issues for us. But the biggest one still is processors and graphics cards. At the moment, I'd looked just before we started the stream, a pretty much bog standard crappy RX 580, 8 gig, is still pushing towards 200 quid, which is actually more than it cost when it came out, I think, which is insane. And especially seeing as I just sold a PC at Christmas to a friend of ours, and they kind of reserved the PC back in June, I think it was, possibly July, when the prices were obviously much better. And I priced in a RX 580, a 4 gig version, in that PC. I priced it in as £100. And now it's worth kind of getting on towards, as a used product, maybe 150, 160, maybe even more. It's just insane. It really is. The pricing is insane and people are really crying out for stuff. Motherboards are getting pretty scarce. MSI are certainly having supply issues. For us in the UK, looking on Amazon, same deal for most manufacturers, await in stock or due in a certain time, January. And we went through this last time with, who was it, CAF, was it Alza, or is it box.co.uk, where it says they're due stock in and we did a pre-order. It didn't show up. And eBuyer.
I think it was Alza.
Yeah, Alza we had that with. The eBuyer one we had that with the MSI Gaming Edge Wi-Fi. That was a pre-order at a really good price, and then it's still next day delivery, and it turned up about a week later because of supply issues. So it is happening. Processor wise though, Intel have been the saving grace of Christmas, really, because you can pretty much go to most places at the moment and you can pick up an Intel processor and an Intel motherboard, give or take, pretty easily on a next day delivery. I noticed today the 10100F, the 4-core 8-thread CPU, £75 in the UK, which is a brilliant price for what it is, being that it's basically a 3100 replacement, which is still difficult to get for maybe 120 here in the UK, which was originally about £75–80. So that is making a lot of sense. i3s, i5s, i7s, i9s, everything pretty much is available if you're prepared to have a look around from shop to shop. There is going to be something available. But the 5000 series are still like this mythical beast. It's like unicorn puke. You cannot, well, I've got unicorn puke obviously, but you can't find the processors. The 5000 series are extremely hard to find anywhere at the moment. Let me know in the comments if there's the same thing where you guys are. And if it isn't an issue where you are, please do let us know in the chat where you are, because I've got Amazon accounts in pretty much every country, so if need be, I will start having to buy from abroad and get it shipped over. I'll have to pay the taxes, but that might be the way to go. 3000 series graphics cards, yeah, not a chance in hell. 6000 series, maybe the odd one or two. It's just crazy. You just can't get hold of stuff. As we thought was going to be the case, RAM prices and SSD prices and NVMe prices have all dropped a little bit. Not quite as much as what we expected, actually, if I'm completely honest with you. I was expecting bigger drops. There's been the odd one or two where there's been like a flash sale and they've dropped down to sub-normal pricing, but generally on the whole, there hasn't been that big kind of, like, what's the November thing? Oh, Amazon Prime Day or Black Friday. There's not been those kind of Black Friday prices that we expected to see on RAM, but it is still dropping a little bit. Not enough though. People are, yeah, Mark Griffiths says people are asking stupid money now for GPUs. They are. Yeah, average 980 Ti on eBay is fetching 200 quid. 200 quid for a 980 Ti. It was only about 3–4 months ago where you could pick up a 1070 Ti for that. Even less. It is gone really, really mad. It's almost at a point now where I'm kind of thinking, do I just not bother buying any PC stuff? I don't really need it. There's nothing inherently that I need to order that needs doing. The only one I need to do is George's PC needs a new motherboard, because he's still rocking a B350 PC Mate from MSI. And unfortunately, the motherboard doesn't have a USB Type-C connector on it. And he's just got a new case, which was the Corsair 4000X RGB IQ, insert extra letters here, case, which is actually really, really good. Really did enjoy using that case. There's a review. I don't know, have I filmed it, haven't I? Have I edited it? I think I've uploaded it, yeah. So that review's coming out. And actually, as far as cases go, for the slightly above...
Would you have uploaded it if you hadn't edited it?
Oh yeah, it's true, yeah. I haven't edited it, I've uploaded it regardless. It's just a mess. Absolute mess.
That was me being dumb, not you.
That is a great case. The 4000X series, genuinely great cases. It took me a little while to figure out, because there's a few little subtle differences, which if you've not owned one or not seen one, it does work a little bit differently and it catches you out. I literally couldn't open it. I was there for ages thinking, how the hell do you actually even get inside this damn case? But once I figured it all out, it's like, yeah, this is actually a really sweet design. So yeah, definitely look forward to that. It's a little bit pricey, if I'm completely honest with you. I paid a little bit extra as well to get it quicker for George, because it was supposed to be a present for his birthday, which was January last year. So
no, this year still. We weren't that
this year.
But his birthday is in 2 weeks.
2 weeks away, and he's got his next birthday. So yeah, that's not worked out really well.
It was his own fault. He wouldn't decide what he wanted.
So yes, there is that to it. But yeah, actually, really good case. So look out for that review. If you like your IQ stuff and you like Corsair stuff in general, then you will love the 4000X. I was kind of like, it's a bit expensive, but I'm on the fence. I'll see what it's like. But after actually building in it, using it, And just the final product, it is really good. The attention to detail is amazing. Definitely worth every penny. So, Wildlife Snapper 1 says, I need a Ryzen 3700X CPU, but I'm now waiting. I just seen on Hot UK Deals, actually, that was available from Amazon Germany for, I think it was £275, which actually, in the scheme of things, isn't that bad a price. Dory says, Merry Christmas and Happy Easter all. Yeah, Easter, we might actually...
broken up for Easter.
I have broken up for Easter, technically, because I've been furloughed until Easter, give or take, so...
I was joking saying you've broken up for Easter now.
It comes to something when, you know, the world's messed up when you you stop work for Christmas and you've basically not sure if you've got any work before Easter. And then you may not have anything at all after Easter.
Stop smiling.
Sorry, am I smiling? Stop smiling! It's very funny. Yes, so it's, yes. It's a very difficult position to be in. The Ryzen 5 3600 is the one which has really taken me by surprise. The fact that people are still buying it and paying absolutely incredible money for it. I think it's dropped down a little bit recently. I've seen it around about 190, which is still about £30, £40 more than what it kind of should be. And certainly is more expensive now than the, what's the equivalent? The 10400, 10600. I lose track of Intel stuff, I really do. I should be paying more attention to it. I am still considering an Intel build. Everything about the whole Intel thing, my body screams. Every fibre of my being is screaming, don't do it, you'll regret it. But I still want to do it, especially the 10100F. There's something about that little chip which, for the 75 quid here in the UK at the moment, that just gets my senses tingling and juices flowing, all that kind of stuff. But trying to get the motherboard for it is going to be the issue. I'm really looking towards the B460 Bazooka is the one that I think I'm most likely to go with. And that is still in and around the kind of £85, £90 mark. If it drops down another tenner, 75 quid, count me in, I'm in. Because for £150, that processor and that board is a pretty awesome combination at what is almost the same price as what you could have previously bought a Ryzen 5 3600. Which, if you think about it, is pretty phenomenal. That's value for money right there. Ugly Bob's, £2.09. Get Codemasters, BMX Bandits, and a 10p mix-up. Oh yeah, 10p mix-up. That used to be a thing years ago, kids. If you're not aware of what the hell we're talking about, you used to be able to go into a shop with 10p and come out with an actual bag full of sweets.
Lots of them.
Lots of them. And if you went for the half p ones, you could have even more. It was insanity.
Can you look at Brandon's?
Brandon's. Up a bit. Up a bit, up a bit, baby. You can get my... Brandon Crawford says, can you recommend a good bulge-friendly... I've got some bulge-friendly t-shirts if you want to buy one of them. Bulge-friendly ITX motherboard. Budget-friendly ITX motherboard. That is an oxymoron. There isn't such a thing as a budget-friendly ITX motherboard. It's either budget or it's ITX. ITX is always expensive. I'm going to have a Ryzen 5 3600 and a 3060 video card. Purpose of the PC is to game on 1080p. Hopefully with good FPS. With that, 1080p, yeah, easily. You should get, in most games, at least 150 to 200 frames per second. That's a pretty ninja system. ITX board, budget-wise, probably, there's not a lot to choose from. The B550 ITX AC from ASRock was pretty decent. That worked really well with the 5700 XT and the Ryzen 5 3600 on a micro ATX. Did really well. Mosen says, you actually have a real job, Mike. I do, kind of, technically. But it's not really working out. Kind of closed.
No, it's not closed.
It's technically open. I just furloughed because it's quiet. So they can't afford to keep me there, so they've been furloughed. Which actually suits me because it gives me more time for YouTube. Hopefully it will last until the sunshine comes out, then we can have sunshine during the day, YouTube in the night. Oh, perfect times. David Aiken says, offloading my eBay £114 3500X tomorrow. How much are you offloading it for? You making a healthy profit on that? I hope so. Wildlife Snapper says, I don't need the cooler that comes with the Ryzen 3700X as I'm using an Arctic 360. That'll keep it pretty cool. Whereas I've distracted myself now. James Miscellaneous says, if you build an Intel rig, I'm unsubbing. From Angry Doge. Oh, in that case, that's fine. Let's do that. Yeah, Stephen says about Intel 10700, Asus ROG Gaming 3080 and a LAN Lee 215. That sounds a pretty awesome combination. I really do like that LAN Lee 215, and I did actually last night take it apart a little bit more. I'm determined I'm going to do Project Stealth. That is really annoying me, and I need to find a way of fitting those bloody notch huge ass fans into a case. And they definitely won't fit into the F15 Game Max. I've tried it again, just not going to happen without way too much stuff being taken apart, or just basically not having the front panel on at all, which is, I don't think is a good look, especially for stealth, because then it looks like it's just either a broken or unfinished PC. But I did have another look with the 215, and potentially there is enough depth there behind that mesh to get those fans in, but there's a lot of plastic needs cutting out, and I don't know whether I can do that to my 215. Even though it was a relatively inexpensive case for what it is, I just don't know if I can take the saw to it quite yet, because it's still very, I don't think I've had it a month yet. So I don't really want to take a saw to it quite yet. But I might do. David Aiken says, 10100F, do it. Dave is only saying that so that I buy it and then he gets to buy it cheap after I've finished using it. Which is probably a good idea. Hussar says, hi Mike, are you recommending to wait for RTX 3070 Ti and 11th gen Intel CPU? I'm not recommending it. I don't think there's a choice, to be honest with you. You can't get them, so you have no choice but to wait. Which actually in some respects is helping some people make a decision, because if you can't buy it, then decision's made for you, especially if you're in a pinch and you've got to get it done. What else can you do? Wildlife Snapper says, my i9-10900 is superb, but only being used for Flight Sim 2020, so can't comment further. Yeah, it's that's a bit of an odd game as well. Does it prefer Intel or AMD CPUs, or is it not particularly CPU bothered either way? I'm guessing it's mostly going to be, because I think they've designed the game engine so it doesn't really rely on additional cores. So it's more about frequency. So I suppose the 10 series Intel or the 5000 series AMD would probably be beneficial, but not necessarily tons of cores. I've always fancied a 10900K or something along those lines, but I just fear the heat way too much. Ugly Bob says the Gigabyte... Oh Christ, I've gone too far now. I've gone way too far. What did he say? Dave says, hi Mike, I have three 1080p monitors. Is it worth upgrading to ultra wide? Thanks. That is that's a good question. I currently use on my main desk, I use a single 32-inch monitor.
Yay, you answered Kev's question. You asked what monitor do you actually use?
I've got a AOC 3279W something or other. So that is 1440p, 32-inch, FreeSync. It's not a particularly fast monitor, but it's IPS, so the color reproduction is excellent. Overall, it's been a fantastic monitor. I picked it up really cheaply on an eBay deal. No, not eBay, sorry, a Facebook Marketplace deal. Over a year ago now, and the guy was trying to sell the monitor and a graphics card at the same time, and I'm trying to think what the graphics card was. I think it was...
Did we not buy the graphics card?
No, because I tested it and he said it had issues. It was Asus ROG, I think it was a Vega 64. And he wanted 400 quid for the lot. So 300 quid for the graphics card, 100 quid for the monitor as a deal. If you bought it like that. Otherwise it was like 150, 200 quid for the monitor. So he came round and I tested the graphics card and it was artifacting like crazy. And he said, oh, don't worry, I'll just send it back to the manufacturer, still under warranty. So I said, well, I actually do want the monitor. He's like, oh, you can have it for 100 quid then. I was like, amazing deal. Brand new, on a deal, you get them for about £200. Sometimes 180 if you're very, very lucky. Normally around about the 250, 220 mark. So to get it for 100 quid in the box, super, super sweet deal. I would have paid the full price for it anyway because I wanted it, because it's one that I've used before. I did a review on it actually ages ago before I actually bought the one I got, because I had one from AOC sent. Actually, no, I borrowed it from, yeah, long story. So I did the review on the monitor and then took it back, and then after reviewing it, it's like, yeah, I definitely want to get one of those. That's a great monitor. So picked it up and it's really good. I've personally been thinking about going ultra wide, but my desk as it works at the moment wouldn't work with anything wider than 32 inch anyway. So going 21:9 for me personally would make a lot of sense. That's what I want to do, or potentially even wider if I can, but I won't get it in that desk setup. So I need to readjust what's going on there. But if you've got the room, if you've already got three 1080p monitors, you didn't say what size they are, so it depends on the size. If you had three kind of maybe 22-inch monitors, it probably doesn't make a great deal of difference going ultra wide really. And it's actually quite nice to have the flexibility of having three monitors, especially in software, so you can then place your windows where you want them to be. Whereas if you're doing it actually in Windows, sometimes kind of full screen settings will be a bit screwy, so the game won't always scale properly. It's a difficult one to answer that.
Hey, Flame.
If I had the room, I would probably do it just because it looks so damn nice. Renew Reviews says, just finished my first ever build and had a few snags across the last few days, but we got there. Firstly, getting thermal paste in the CPU socket, then getting a CPU error. Ah, yes, Renew Reviews, that's you're on a Discord, right? I did remember seeing that. And when I saw the thermal paste in the CPU socket, it was like, oh, dear lordy, this is going to not go well. A BIOS flashback fixed it. Incredible. Aletta says, Dremel those 200mm fans in. To be honest, I think the amount of dremeling I would need to do to get those fans to fit would be borderline on the kind of criminal side. I might actually just end up trying, if I can, to just make a new front for the case. Or actually see if I can get hold of Leanne Lee and see if they'll send me another one, or I'll buy another one, just so I can mod it. Just so I can put the old one back in if things go pear-shaped. We just had a super chat. Who was that from?
David.
David Aiken, £5 says, I'm off. Time to pack up the flip build. Thanks for a year of cracking videos, Mike and Kath. See you in the next video. Now you're a Corsair fan. Thank you, David, and thank you. Oh God, Erin. We forgot. That is yeah.
All right. Okay.
Sorry, Erin. Ugly Bob says, I've got a 28-inch, have you? 28 inches, boasting. Hands-free 4K monitor from Ballycon before Xmas. It's quite good, especially for 165 quid. I've got to be honest, my eyesight isn't great. It's, well, one eye's really good, that eye is less good. So I've got what they call astigmatism, so that my eyeball shape is actually changed, so the focus length is different. So I can focus really close on the left eye and focus really far on the right eye. So doing that all the time. Both eyes together, it looks a little bit blurry, but if I put a little bit of pressure on my eye there, it sharpens right up because of the shape of the eyeball. So yeah, one of those things. But for me, 4K, 1440p for me actually is sharper than what my eyesight is capable of seeing without wearing glasses. So to buy a 4K monitor really, unless it gave me more real estate on the desk, is not really a great deal of point. I am tempted to get my eyes lasered. I don't like anything to do with my eyes at all, but I am considering getting them lasered just so I can take advantage of 4K. That is a first world problem right there, my friends. Yeah.
Final Destination.
Oh, yeah. I'm not watching Final Destination the day before. Ah, terrifying. Where are we? Dave G30 says thanks very much for your input. Don't know who you meant, but if it's me, no problem. What else we got? Just That Creator says, I really should change my name to Mr. Mega, like your Discord. I get a lot of that. There's a lot of people that come into the YouTube comments and into the streams and stuff, and they say their name, and I'm like, they're talking about stuff, and it's like, well, that rings a bell. And it's really hard to put the two names together. Ugly Bob says 28 inches on the slack, ladies. Bless you, Bob.
That's just his heel size.
Yeah, that's just around the biceps. Huge. Guido65 says, my AMD build was bugging hard until I got the latest BIOS on it. There has been a totally unusual amount of problems with AMD this year. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. The last few days, the amount of people trying to sort out BIOSes and issues with AMD systems has been pretty outrageous. Flash is not working, Flash is not being read. I could see it happening. We discussed it on the Discord, said that we need to get another room on the Discord for BIOS updates, and we did, and I don't think it's enough now. I think we probably need another. It's been quite bad. That's another reason actually why I want to try the Intel side of the coin, just to see what happens, because currently if we're on the 10th gen, 11th gen will come out. In theory, it should still be on the same board, which is likely. Hopefully Intel have learned something from AMD, and they'll try and keep the socket platform maybe a little bit longer than they would normally, which would be fantastic, but that would mean for BIOS updates. So I have seen there's quite a few Intel boards which actually are starting to have BIOS flashback buttons, which normally means that they're expected there's going to be an upgrade on the socket at some point. So I don't know. Be interesting to see how that goes. Let's see if I can catch up a minute. If there's any questions I've missed, just put them in again, and I'll try and get around some. Ray D.
Yeah.
He says hi.
No, up a bit.
Oh. Aletta says it's currently -5 degrees C in Ohio with snow on the ground. I think we've got your weather's coming on its way over to us now. Ray D says, oh God, actually, Ugly Bob says, Drunk Bob will sort out the laser eye surgery, hold my beer. Sky Stalker has come in with a massive 20 Canadian dollars super chat. Bless you, sir. Ray D says, get Calf to squeeze your nads, your eyesight will soon sharpen. Well, I'll be squinting, that's for sure. Sky Stalker says, enjoyed the snow, Kath and Mike. A taste of Canada. I don't know when the snow's going to kick in.
It's going to be Monday.
It's supposed to be Monday, but then they said that last week. There has been areas of the UK which have had snow already. We did actually have officially a white Christmas, which over here, I don't know if it's a thing in other countries, but the bookies actually take bets, so you can put money on it being a white Christmas or not, and normally you actually get pretty decent odds on it. So the bookies actually lost out this year. Ugly Bob says it was snowing in Newcastle on the 24th. Stefan Krut says Intel has SAM. Yeah, the SAM feature, the memory access thing, seems to be quite a universal thing, so that's looking good. Let me know in the comments, in the chat now, would you be interested in seeing me actually doing an Intel build? Because ultimately that's what it comes down to. If you guys are not interested in it, then it's a bit pointless me doing it, even if I have got a little bit of a burning desire to do it. I am very, very much on the fence, so I don't mind doing it, I don't mind not doing it. So do let me know. Glenn sent us a 420. Oi oi, he says. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate it. Ugly Bob says, at Glenn, hashtag ROR, nice. Skystalker says, it is unusual to get a white Christmas here, but we did. See, I would have thought that Canada would have had white Christmases every year. Like, I get that kind of mental picture, because I do watch a YouTuber who is in Greek Town, which I believe is Toronto, possibly. I'm not too sure. I think it's Greek Town, Toronto. And he's walking around doing like vlogs all day. And there seems to be snow in Toronto quite frequently. So I just kind of get the opinion that Canada is like a frozen wasteland. In a good way. Guido65 says, in Australia, heading for 32 degrees C today where I am. Blimey. That's pretty warm.
That's cold. Oh, C?
Yeah.
I was thinking it was F.
Just That Creator says, Intel Hate Club? Question mark. Ugly Bob says, nope. Ugly Bob, Shintel, message not retracted. ClickTech Kev says, shield for Intel instead of AMD? Quite possibly. Just That Creator says, funny how times change. It is. James Miscellaneous says, Mike, I want to see you test out OpenRGB, preferably on an MSI board. I could try. Aletta says, I'd love to see an Intel build. Paul Lamont says, and it's a no from me. Skystalker says, I'd be interested in an Intel build. I am so behind on Intel stuff. I need to be educated. I'm kind of in the same boat, really. It would be a learning curve for me as well, I think. Glenn says, yeah, a sub 500 build with a 10100 would be a good one. Guido says, SPF 1000, lol. God. In the UK, we don't even need SPF. It's freezing. Very cold.
We like vitamin D.
Yeah, we do like vitamin D as well. Skystalker says Toronto goes from -20 in winter to +34 in summer. That is a wild, wild range. Like we struggle actually in the UK because we could probably go from probably about -5 is probably about the lowest we see really, up to probably a maximum of about 32, 34. So again, it's about a 40-degree spread, but
that's just your belly.
Yeah, that's my guts. But that causes mayhem over here, whereas most other countries have the same thing where they go from -10 or whatever up to like 40 degrees, and they're just like, yeah, okay, whatever, bring it on. Whereas over here, you get a couple of flakes of snow, and like the whole country goes mad. Everyone goes panic buying into the shops. It's just insane.
And you get it hot, and the roads melt.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got railway tracks which buckle under the heat, because who'd have thought heat? We also get tarmac roads which are built so badly that as soon as they get hot, they melt. Our country is weird.
Static asks, what do you think? Should I upgrade my 450 Tomahawk Max to the MSI B550 Carbon with my Ryzen 3600X?
Where was that?
Up a bit.
What name was it? Sorry, Static. What do you think? Should I upgrade from my B450 Tomahawk Max to the MSI Carbon with my Ryzen? Probably not, to be honest with you. On a 3600X, the Tomahawk Max is pretty much, that is a kind of sweet spot. If you've already got the board, then I wouldn't recommend upgrading it really. If you're buying new, then hell yeah, get the carbon. In fact, get any of the B550 boards over the Tomahawk for modern systems. But if you've got the board already, or if you've picked it up at a good price, then the Tomahawk board is still a good board. I still get every single day people messaging me saying, well, I've got the Tomahawk board and I think it's wonderful. It's like, well, yeah, it's a great board. But if you're buying now, at this time, B550s have come down to such a price that it really does make sense to go for the extra features, addressable RGB, which people do want to some extent, better PCI Express lanes. B550 chipset just works better in general. It's got much better memory scaling and flexibility and hypertransport and all that kind of stuff. So if you're building a new system, it does make a great deal of sense. Like there was one of the guys on Discord yesterday who said, which should I get, a B450 Tomahawk Max or the Asus B450 ROGF, I think it was. It's like, well, why would you get either of those? Why don't you just look for something like the ASRock Phantom Gaming B550? As far as the VRM is concerned, it's not far off it. Plus, you're going to get better frequency response from your RAM. He said he wanted to buy 3600 RAM, which does work much better with B550 than it does with B450, definitely. So, yeah, they looked at the price and actually turned out that the ASRock B450 Phantom Gaming 4 was actually cheaper than the Tomahawk. So, managed to save the guy some money and get him what I would consider, and I think what most people realistically, without being fanboyism, would agree is a better way of going. For sure. So yeah, James Miscellaneous answered the question much better. No. Well done, James. Straight to the point. Ugly Bob says, if you got some Intel CPUs, would you compare like for like with AMD CPUs with posh graphs and everything? I don't know. I really don't know. Things like benchmarks and graphs and all that sort of stuff are okay if you want to do it in a forensic way. But for me personally, I never use my PC in a forensic way, and probably I would imagine 99% of you guys watching this right now don't do things on your PC in a forensic way. You literally go by how your PC feels and how much it's cost you and if you can actually buy it. So for me and for the way the channel is going, yeah, graphs would be cool, and if we had the time and there was a need for it, yeah, it would be really worth doing. But for the amount of time and money it takes to go through all that and do those really, really detailed graphs with really kind of 1 or 2 degree differences, or this uses 5 watts of extra power over this one, it's like, well, realistically, at the end of the day, as long as there isn't a noticeable bad difference between any of the products, then the overall feel, I think, for a lot of people, gives you a much better idea. Because you can go over to, well, I'll say, for instance, this is for Steve over at Gamers Nexus. This is not being disrespectful in any way, shape or form, but he could cut down one of those 30-minute videos of all those graphs and charts to a 3-minute segment and say, we've done loads of testing and this processor works out better, and when I've been using it, it's felt faster. End of video. That's all you need to do. You don't need to blither on about all the graphs and stuff, because graphs really don't mean anything. Look at any graphs. You can make a graph say whatever you want, and then you have to look through the graph and say, well, I've got that processor and that's that processor. Oh, that one's got 100 points more. But realistically, what does 100 points mean in the grand scheme of things? Does it feel faster? I can't tell the difference generally between 70 frames per second and 100 frames per second. So if you've got 2 graphics cards where there's 10 or 20 frames per second difference between them, it makes absolutely no odds to me. So if I can't feel it or I can't notice it, it makes no difference whatsoever. So then I'll be going on things like price, quality, availability, ease of use, warranty, all that kind of stuff, which I personally find more valuable information than it gets 3% faster benchmarks. Let me know what you think in the comments. Ultimately, this channel is for you, so if you agree with what I'm saying, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. Kath disagrees, she's got her hand up, or she never needs to go for a wee. A Chensov.
And also Wildlife Snapper.
A Chensov.
Near each other. Mike, just found your channel 30 minutes ago. Watched the 500 build. One question, how on earth did you manage to find RX 580 for 100 quid? Oh no, sorry, I don't know why I even said that. That's not even a question.
HS says, sorry, we're so excited to see a live stream. Forgot to say hello.
Yeah, that's one.
No problem.
Wildlife Snapper.
I'm missing out on lots of questions now.
Something about standoffs and 9 screws.
Right. Sorry, I'll go back to HS Nov's question. Mike, just found your channel 30 minutes ago. Welcome aboard. Watched the $500 build, £500 build. One question, how on earth did you manage to find an RX 580 for 100 quid? It was a long time ago. It was literally at the beginning of this stream, I was discussing that and saying that literally I only sold that PC not yesterday, day before. So Christmas Eve I sold it. Actually exchanged money on it. I did the deal back in June, and that was what the graphics card was worth back then. So I could have turned around to the person who was buying it and say, well, it's been stuck here for 5 months, so I'm going to charge you. Yeah, I'm going to charge you what the going rate is. But I'm not that kind of person. I'm not making any money on the PC anyway because taxes and all that kind of stuff. So I'm probably making a loss on it anyway, regardless. So what the hell?
Karma.
But yeah, karma. Hopefully I'll get some karma points for it.
You like karma.
Alexa says high temps can be from -23 to 37 degrees. Jesus, that's a big spread. That's 60-degree spread there. Dave Bell says other countries get -15 every year, so it's worth investing. Here, not so much. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Philip Anderson says, hi, Calf. Hey, what about me? Just That Creator says, what do you recommend as an upgrade from a AB350 Pro 4? Might need to, as one of my case fans in my NR600 can't be used, as one of my Mobo fan headers is dead. I would probably go with the, well, depend, you haven't said what processor you've got on there, but probably if you're going from an AB350 Pro 4, I would probably stick with ASRock still. Maybe go for the Phantom Gaming 4 that I mentioned just now. That's a really good option. Although I think the AB350 is micro ATX, so you might need to go with, I'm not sure if there's a B550M Phantom Gaming. If there is, that'd be one I'd probably go with. James says, Aletta is the type of girl to move north just for the better ambient CPU, GPU and VRM temps. It's not a bad idea.
But she's snow cooler system.
Yeah, snow cooled, water cooled. Just keep on shoveling snow into the water cooler. It is open loop actually, isn't it? So you could chuck a bit of snow in there. Although you might get contamination, so maybe not such a good idea. Wildlife Snapper 1 says, I went for the 550 over the 450 just to be slightly future-proof and have extra bits just in case. Skystalker says, ASRock B550 Gaming Max is a great board. Get the Wi-Fi edition. Or if not, you can watch one of our Wi-Fi upgrade videos, which have proved to be rather popular. James Miscellaneous says, Mike's unboxing reviews and how-to. That's me. Do not do benchmarks and graphs, please. We have enough of those resources. Keep doing your thing. It sets you apart.
But he loves to sit there cussing at doing them.
I gotta be honest, I hate doing graphs. I genuinely do. It's nice to do them just to say, look, I've done one. Yay, I'm a YouTuber. But like I said before,
but he does it for Bob.
I can. Yeah, it was Bob's fault. We asked for him, bastard. It's quite nice to do in some respects because you can clarify something or make it more visual. But I still think ultimately, just by me saying my thoughts on something, is a more tangible thing. Because you guys know me, you've known the stuff I've reviewed, you know what kind of stuff I use on a daily basis. So if I say something's good or say something's crap, you've got a really good idea of what my opinion is, and compared on what I've reviewed before, you can say, okay, yeah, it's fair enough. He's seen a lot of these particular devices or a lot of these coolers or a lot of these cases. So if he says it's crap, it probably is worth skipping. Rather than saying, on a percentage base, this is 3% worse than this one. Yeah, hi to Suzette and Charles Travel. That sounds like an interesting website, YouTube channel. I must have to go and see that. Suzette and Charles Travel, a big thumbs up host. Thank you very much. Ugly Fob says Steve likes cats too. He does. ClickTech Kev says graphs are a pain to create. Yes, they are. It's right if you've got some staff who are like real nerds and they love doing graphs and stuff, so you can just throw them a bunch of information and say, there you go, there's the information. Make that looks presentable.
Looks.
Yeah.
Southpools.
Excuse me?
He is left-handed, one of those weirdo Southpools.
Yeah. I am Southpool. James Merson's video, 16 gig RAM won't last long, started, save for 16 more. Matthew Day says a fan splitter would be cheaper than a new motherboard. That is very true. That is very true. Yes, I am left-handed, for those of you that want to know. You can probably tell, because look, I'm using my laptop. I can actually do both, but I don't. I think I do prefer using my left. For my mouse, I can use either. It makes no difference really. James Messina says thanks. I'm building a clone. Oh God. ClickTech Kev says left-handed equals sinister.
No, your eyes are too far apart.
Yeah, my eyes are far too far apart for me to be sinister. If your eyes are right in the middle, like Boris Johnson's, then you are sinister. Glenn says, unfortunately in the YouTube tech review space, when it comes to perceivable difference versus hard numbers, the hard numbers will take it every time. That is true. That is true, actually. But then I don't really review stuff which is that often very, very close, that the tolerances would need to be measured by tiny results, which I think is where the big problem is with the PC tech market. It used to be there was definite sort of market segments. So you'd have like your entry-level CPU, your mid-range and your high-end. Maybe 3, possibly 4 stock keeping units. And for graphics cards, you'd have the same. You'd have like your entry-level piece of crap. You'd have something which is possible for gaming, and then you'd have your expensive stuff. Whereas now, the product segments are so varied that every segment has a sub-segment, and the sub-segment also has sub-segments. So you really do need to pay attention to the minute details. So yeah, I suppose it depends what you're buying. If you're looking at a graphics card in a certain kind of place point, maybe between £400 and £500, then I suppose you would go on those kind of tiny little differences just to see which is the fastest. Although I've never been really into benchmarks and stuff like that. I'm more into features or guarantees or pricing. So I suppose that's kind of what sets me apart from other channels as well, that I don't really care. I honestly don't care. I'd rather buy something slower with a better warranty or with more features. Outlaw Fett says, nice drink, Mike. Yeah, it's all right. I've got a bit of indigestion from that Chinese I had earlier. You think I'd learn? I don't.
Beer's gonna help.
James Morrison's video says, you've reviewed nearly everything that I'm looking at getting. You just explain everything, which is amazing. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Skystalker says, I cannot write with my left hand. I can do everything else. I don't think I can write with my my right hand. I've not tried in years. Find me a pen, Kath, and a bit of paper. I'm intrigued to see if I can. Luckily, on hand, I don't have paper, but I do have a Mike's Unboxing special dual action stylus pen available from Patreon. Let's have a look. What should I write? Mike's Unboxing. Cool. That feels weird.
Look at your little pinky all posh hanging out.
This is horrible.
You look normal though.
Whee! There we go. Mike's unboxing.
See? That's actually better than your right. Your left.
With my left hand.
All smudged.
There's not much difference between the two, is there? But I blame it on the pen. Bloody cheap ass pens. Who bought those, Kath? Was that you? Damn it. James Missing says, look at that sexy writing apparatus.
Oh, I'll have to rewind it to see if your tongue was sticking out.
Was my tongue sticking out? No. Actually, that was a bit easier than I thought it was going to be. Might be because I've written that before. So, let's try. Actually, if I put my finger out there, it's easier. There's some words that are easier than others. Yeah, Merry Christmas. I can't write that. Jeez. That says Merry Christmas on the top, honest. Anyway, that's enough of that. Ugly Bob says, ha ha, pants with both hands. Bastards. Aqua says, I'm new. Oh yeah. Oh, gassy. Glenn says, I'm right-handed by default, but due to missing my right eye, I do some things left-handed. Play pool or snooker as an example. Huh. Matthew Day says, now we can copy Mike's signature.
I just can't see half these questions you're getting.
When you click on the top and
I know, I've got it on live chat.
Have you? Alright. Creative Girl of Colour with what's this? Creative Girl of Colour with Danielle B. I thought that's what it said. Hey, I'm a new subscriber. Welcome to the channel. Again, there are quite a few new people in actually, which is nice to see. Mike, you need vodka. I'd need more than vodka. Ugly Bob says, can you draw a big wang with your right hand? And I don't mean trace one either. I can't draw a big wang with either hand because I do not know what one looks like. I'll have to fire up Cyberpunk 2077.
Show you mine.
Kath says she'll show me hers.
Because sword fight.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Just gets worse. Aqua says, I just subscribed as well. Thank you all so much. It's actually been a pretty crazy year, subscriber-wise. Unfortunately, this last couple of days, which has been some of the, normally what would be some of the busiest days possible for Amazon affiliate sales, there's been a few issues with some of the Amazon affiliate links, so I do apologise for those. Yeah, it's one of those things that's kind of out of my hand, so if they haven't worked, I do apologise.
They're working now.
I'm the one who loses out ultimately, but never mind. But they do appear to be working now, so if you are considering buying anything from Amazon and you want to help support the Mike's Unboxing, then there is affiliate links in the video show notes and also on our Discord. If you can't see them, just click on them, and subsequent purchases from Amazon, even if you don't buy anything from the links that you're actually clicking on, subsequent stuff still does give us a little kickback. And it doesn't cost you guys anything at all, nothing extra apart from the time and effort to click on a link. So all that stuff does help. Ugly Bob says, yay, 50 likes, nice one.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. It is appreciated. Mark Proctor says, I just subscribed too, 12 months ago. Creative Girl of Colour with Danielle B says, I was just looking at your G7 live streaming video. What is your setup now, camera, etc.? Well, it actually hasn't changed a great deal at all. I've swapped the G7 for G80, which in some countries is the G85, I think in America possibly, and Europe, or America, in Australia, in Europe is the G80. But other than that, it's the same thing. Still using my Elgato HD60S into OBS. The microphone I've changed today, literally changed today, so I'm working on a cordless mic now, which is the Boya BM6S. Sorry, Kath's getting a cat And he's gone. So that's the microphone I'm using. I did use the Boya BYM1 before, which I've used for so long now. And actually it is probably my go-to mic. I do love it. It is a fantastic mic. And I said it over and over again. This probably was one of the best purchases I ever made for the YouTube channel. It's paid for itself over and over again with the amount of times I've used it and the flexibility. But it's nice to have a wireless one as well. Let's move that out of the way. There's Maisie. Oh, bless.
She's all wet.
You been out in the rain? Getting your wet... Oh, she's so sweet how she gets her wet, muddy paws all over my clean desk.
Oh.
It's fine. I don't mind. I'm calm.
She's got to dry them somewhere.
Mosine says, Mike, can you follow me on Twitter, please? Twitter, I hate. I hate Twitter. I don't even know why I ever signed up to it. Instagram, Twitter, and actually Facebook for that matter.
LinkedIn.
And LinkedIn, yeah, add that one in as well. And Snapchat. I hate all of those apps.
Parler's good.
I've not really used it, so I can't comment.
I use it for you.
Yeah. Realistically, all social media is just... Wow. It's just a massive jerk off. It really is. It's everyone going, oh, look how wonderful my life is. And then as soon as the cameras turn, they're like, oh, I'm so depressed.
I only got 5 likes.
I only got 5 likes on this post. The only reason I do Facebook and all that stuff is, well, probably because I have to, because everyone else does it. But I really do detest having to do it. It's all just a big money-making pile of crap. It really is. I know I shouldn't say it because I'm kind of in social media, but it is like Instagram. Basically, people say, can you post this on Instagram? It's like, well, if I wanted to, yes, I probably would, but I don't, so I'm not going to. It's also hard to follow as well. People just blither on about useless stuff on there.
And it's like questions from all these angles.
Yeah, so many different angles to concentrate on. If you're going to be on a platform, be on one platform and do it really well. That is my advice to anybody.
But we tend
like YouTube. YouTube questions and comments, I would argue that I and Kath together, because we do it as a team, I think we probably are more interactive on that platform than pretty much anybody else on YouTube questions.
Yeah.
Because we literally answer or heart every comment we get. So if it's a first time comment, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a heart on it and an answer. If it's a subsequent one in like a chain of a thing, they do get lost easy, so not always so good. But pretty much guaranteed, if you go to any of my videos from 4 years ago, whatever it is, even if you comment on that now today, you'll still get an answer on it. Because YouTube is our platform of choice, and we've dedicated a lot of time and effort to it. So I think that's why we try and do it, to make it works for us. And by having that interaction on that one platform and dedicating a lot of time and effort to it, the channel's grown really, really well. And we've kind of doubled in size every year. And I think a lot of that is down to dedicating a lot of time and effort to the platform. And I don't want to be bogged down with Twitter stuff. And you know what it's Facebook as well. Facebook, you start scrolling, it's just like a minefield, and all of a sudden you get involved in someone else's stuff, and it's like, I've just wasted half an hour. And for what? I've got nothing out of it apart from I feel angry. It's ridiculous. Don't do it. Yeah. Instagram, when Instagram was what it should have been all about in the beginning, it was like people posting cool pictures. That is great. But now it's just like...
Wangs.
Yeah.
Female wangs.
It's just TNA and product shots. If you go on... Actually, where's my... I'm going to prove a point. Hey, I haven't got my wire on. I can move around. I don't have to worry about running over stuff. Oh, that is so liberating. Right, let's have a look. I'm going to... Oh, I got an Instagram notification. So... I better not have a look at that one. So, Instagram. I'm just going to flip through. So... Oh, that's my brother-in-law, so I can't say... sorry, not my brother-in-law, my brother. Can't say anything about that. That's one of Kath's friends, that's fine. And there we go, Zotac UK, a product shot. Next one, ASRock Official, a product shot. Pash Classics, a product shot.
But then that's what you do on there.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. Zotac UK, another product shot. Jay's 2 cents, a product shot. Wrigley's Extra, product advertising. Another Zotac advert. Bitwit advertising something. Thermaltake UK advertising something. Zotac. I guess it depends who you're following, to be completely honest with you. But like Instagram, literally, it's just like it's an app. It's a paid app for advertising. You can't really have a discussion on there. All you have to do is just basically go through and like people's product shots. That's the point. James Miscellaneous says, wait, Mike's moved to a wireless lav. Anyone which he went with? It's the Boya, the BYWM6S, the new version. The old version of the 6 wasn't as good. The new one's really good. Alessa says, I'm mostly on Twitter, so I go to chat to other writers. Yeah, in a community scenario, it's really cool. That's a really good way of doing it. But for most people, it's just like, it's just it is literally an advertising board, and you're captive to it because you've got to scroll through it to get past it. So you are a captive sheep, effectively. You have got to see these things flick up in front of you. You have no choice in it if you want to use the app, which is basically just forced advertising. But if you guys are happy with it, then stick with it. But like YouTube, I'm a YouTube creator, so I understand that in order for me to make money, there needs to be adverts on the platform or some way of monetizing the work I do. So when I'm watching someone else's content and there's a video that pops up, I get it. I appreciate it. That's their revenue stream. If I wasn't a creator, I would be less likely to watch the adverts. I would be more inclined to skip past them, because most people just want to get into the bones of it. And like, especially if you're trying to do like a how-to video, the last thing you want is adverts. But you have to realize that kind of most people don't want to do it for nothing. They want to have something out of their time that they invest into it. So I do understand it with that. But with things like social media, Facebook especially, it's like, come on, how much of their data are they actually collecting about you anyway from Facebook and Instagram? Because it's the same damn company. So everything you look at on Facebook, they know what you're looking at on Facebook.
And WhatsApp's Facebook.
And then they're like, boosh, they stick it on adverts on Instagram. You only got to say the words out loud in front of your mobile device. And before you know it, you go onto the YouTube or go onto Google or whatever, and those ads are just like boop, 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 all the time. And that's how we live. So if I've got the choice of kind of not having one of those extra things bombarding my brain with senseless pictures, I'm quite happy to go about it. That's a long rant really about Instagram. But I generally don't like it. I never did before I got into social media, and I still don't like it. It just is for me, it seems a pointless waste of time. Twitter, a little bit different, but pretty much of the same ilk. I don't really understand it, which is probably part of the problem. Skystalker says YouTube Premium is bloody awesome. I am tempted to invest in that this year, actually. Sotingel says, the election was stolen from me. Blah, blah, blah. That's Twitter for you. And as we're seeing more and more, they are clamping down on what you can and can't say. So they've got their official fact checkers, which are kind of stopping you posting things which goes against the narrative. So
with no facts that
yeah,
are checked by.
If the facts are checked by an open and honest society, then yeah, sure. Put the information there and say, well, this is not technically accurate because of X, Y, Z, but don't just say they can't post stuff or ban the people. I'm quite happy. I'm an adult, and most people who sign up to these things are adults that you've got to be to get some of the content. So as an adult, shouldn't you be able to make up your own mind? Like when you're buying PC stuff? Like if you went to buy an Intel processor now, you went on, seen a couple of reviews, you as an adult or as a paying person, a customer, it is entirely up to you to do your due diligence. So you go out, look at reviews, say, yeah, this is good, this costs about that, this is what I should be expecting to pay for it, and this is the performance I should expect. So then you go out and buy that thing, and you get it home, and it's like, well, actually, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. So then you know that those people that have told you what they've told you aren't quite telling you the whole truth. And that is how we learn as individuals, as customers, consumers, you name it. And the same goes for any kind of post, whether it's a political one, whether it's a scientific one, whether it's a technical one. You look around and you see what the general consensus is. But if reviews and opinions are silenced or kind of pushed to the back, how are you ever supposed to make a balanced decision for yourself? It just completely, like, freedom of speech is a really important thing in every aspect of life. People may not like what you're saying, so they've got the option. Turn it off. Go and watch something else. Listen to something else. That is your choice. But that is where it should end. It should be your choice. It shouldn't be down to the BBC, the ITV, Channel 4, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. It should not be them. They should not be the gatekeepers. The gatekeeper should be you, making a decision to actively click on something, and if you don't like it, click away from it. Same as with buying. If you don't like that Intel processor, it is entirely your prerogative to not buy an Intel processor again until you feel you've got confidence in their product. Likewise with AMD, if you've bought an AMD product and it's been buggy as hell and you've not had a good time with it and you've then gone off, that is your entire thing. You can choose to do something else. Being human is about choice. Do I have another beer? Do I have another potato with my meal? Do I have the chicken? Do I have the gammon? Do I have the duck? Do I have the beef? It's all decisions that you make and you go by them, and you may regret the extra beer, you may regret the extra potato, but that's down to you to regret it. Oh dear, sorry.
Creative Girls Colour said...
Sorry, I should...
Hold on. She needs that mic.
She needs that mic?
Yeah.
Well, this one, the cordless one?
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's two. I'm going to grab the other one because I can move around. It's amazing.
Well, I love it. Looks wonderful, thanks. Can you recommend a lens for the G7 to get a blurry background?
Ooh. I'll have to wait for the lights to come back on now. If you want a blurry background with the G7, it depends what your setup is like, how close to the camera you're going to be. Generally, the lower the f-stop on the lens, the better.
And to be honest, tonight our picture's not good, is it? The lighting's wrong.
Yeah, there's something seriously wrong with our lighting tonight. The camera's being stupid. Matthew Day's throwing £2 in the pot and says, I'm feeling guilty for using AdBlock. Hey, don't worry. On an individual basis, using AdBlock, it makes very, very little, if any, difference. They work out YouTube revenue on CPM, which is like clicks per milli, which is like 1,000. So you need 1,000 people to all do the same thing before it starts to get even remotely noticed. So I won't worry. If you want to use AdBlock, use AdBlock. It's absolutely cool.
And she also says, and I have been looking for a remote to zoom in on my live stream. You can do it on your phone, can't you?
Not zoom in.
Oh.
No, zoom in. If you're on a Lumix camera, they don't have power zoom. So the only way you can do that is if you can buy an attachment that will go on the focus ring, so you can get a power zoom. But Lumix cameras generally don't have powered zoom. If you wanted to do that, you could probably do it with a Sony A6400, something like that. Lens-wise, if you want a little bit of bokeh, a little bit of blurry background, the lens I've got at the moment is the 12mm to 60mm, currently at 12mm, and I think the f-stop value is probably about 4.5, so it's not a particularly blurry background, but because of the lighting, there's not enough lighting to get the f-stop low enough to give you that blurry background. If you can put a camera far enough away, then the 25mm 1.4 is a really good option, but it's got no stabilization, so you have to have it on a tripod. Otherwise it looks bloody awful, especially because the G7 hasn't got IBIS. Hopefully that helps. Sorry, going back to the microphone question. So does the microphone sound okay? Does it sound the same as I normally do? I wasn't expecting that because the Boya, the lav mic, the powered one, does sound pretty decent. I've always loved the sound profile. So if this sounds similar or the same as what I normally do, then I am super, super stoked, because it is a non-powered device effectively, which is this one. So I got this one sent. This is the BYWM6S, so twin pack. They have also sent me as well the slightly less professional version, which is this one. This is the BYMW8 Pro K2. So that's a dual channel, so you can have 2 mics on the one receiver. So if you're doing conferences or chatting to people or whatever, interviews, or if you're trying to get Kath to talk on the damn stream, then this is the one to go for. But Kath says she won't go on stream until we hit 50k, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I think she's got itchy finger or something. She's not keen. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with the lighting today. There's something not right with that camera.
As Danielle too. Thinking it's good, it's not that great tonight, to be honest.
No, it does look... The colours look alright. I think.
Put the screen onto you and see if it makes a difference. I don't think it will.
I think I'm out of focus. The sign's in focus.
That's probably what it is. It looks really bright.
Yeah, you've just done it. You just put it on focus onto that.
I haven't. It's not in the box at all.
Is it not? Just looks a bit blurry. Anyway.
That's done all night.
For those of you who haven't seen it already, there was a Christmas card that was produced by Dave Aitken, and there's some input there from some of the guys from the Discord, etc., who had a whip round to get us a little Christmas hamper, which we do appreciate massively. And there's some various pictures on there which relate to various things that we've done on the channel. So I just wanted to get a quick shot of that so you guys can see it. Some Q links on there. There's some there's me and Kath in the middle. The error 43 code from AMD. Projector.
Should have had a 503 like our locally links.
Pretty good. I do like that. Dave Aitken is a pretty talented guy. Don't tell him I said that.
You could say that he's gone.
Oh yeah, he's gone. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can't say that.
Danielle says, can you increase the volume or lower the volume?
Yes, I can. On the lav mic, there is, on the receiver, you can adjust the microphone volume up and down. You can do it in OBS as well, so...
And the camera.
Yeah, and the camera itself. So if I click on that now, so I've probably got really loud now, probably unbearably loud. And you can take it right back to down again. So you can do that pretty easy from just a click on OBS if you want to. Unbelievably as well, on this stream, we've managed to drop exactly 0 frames again. I think I've dialed the settings in just right on OBS for this camera now, which I'm quite pleased with. By the time I got a new camera. Oh, Patrick LaBelle, $5 Canadian, says, I use AdBlock too, but runs a playlist of the YouTubers I follow on a non-AdBlock browser. So you always get one or more view for your show. Enjoy. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that. You Canadians are a really, really nice bunch of people.
Always remember to do that when you go into PC World.
Yeah, and don't forget, if you go into your local PC store, I don't know what you have in Canada, I guess you have like Best Buy or something, go into there, open up as many browsers as you can, fire up the Mike's Unboxing playlists, and then put another Google window on the top, just a blank one, and turn the volume down. Just leave me playing all day on as many laptops as you can.
Overnight.
Yeah, overnight's always a good one. That gets the views right up. I was trying to work out what that was then from Kev. YW. Oh, I got something in my eye now. I think it's an eyeball. Oh, that hurts. That stings.
Ugly Bob will sort it out.
Yeah, Ugly Bob needs the laser out of my eye. Matthew Day says, I run you at 70 on my sound, but 50 for most others. All right, is the sound a little bit low? I try and get it so that on my computer, when I'm editing, my voice sounds roughly the same as most of the other YouTube videos I watch.
What does YW mean?
You're welcome. Furkan says, hello. Hello. Stuart Clary says it's your finger. It was, it was. Aletta says Canadians are nice until you step into a hockey rink with them. Yeah, actually, yeah, I did watch.
Dancing on Ice.
What was that? There was a film, Cold Pursuit, with Liam Neeson. I think that was set in Canada, and that was quite horrific. Ugly Bob says, I think the sound is about spot on. Thank you. Wildlife Snapper 1. This is actually, this is the person to be speaking to, because he is the taker of pictures. Bokeh is not just a blurry background. For true bokeh, you need to invest a huge amount of money in very fast aperture lenses. This is very, very true. Lenses are ridiculously expensive. The lens I want for this camera, or wanted for this camera, which I don't think I'm going to bother with, I think was the 12 to 42mm 2.4, and it was just some crazy price, like £1,000 or something. It's like, I'm not paying £1,000 just so I can have some blurry background. What the hell's wrong with you, man? Not happening. Actually, I quite like it, because at the moment in this lens, like pretty much everything's in focus. So
your eyes are dodgy.
Even if I'm a complete idiot, it's really hard to mess up the focus so it's unwatchable. Like, if for some reason I clicked on, I don't know, something in the background, you could pretty much still work out what's going on. You'd have to look pretty closely to see what was out of focus. So having a slightly more crap lens, or a kit lens in this case, yeah, it works fine. Wildlife Snapper says 2.4 is fast. Definitely is. The lens I'm using starts at 3.5 and goes up to, I think, 5.6. So it's a pretty slow lens, which is why I wanted to upgrade it to the 2.4 or lower. A 1.4 would be amazing, but not going to happen. Collectech Kev. I agree with that, actually. Problem is with bokeh on tech YouTubers is it makes you look like you're trying to be a tech YouTuber rather than let the content speak for itself. Actually, a really good person for filming wise who actually gets it is Austin Evans. His content, he's got some really nice cameras. Hey guys, it's Austin. He's got some really, really good camera equipment, but rarely do they go into kind of bokeh mode. Normally you can see what he's doing and you can see everything around it. And he's paid a lot of money and dressed the set to look really nice and for it to be interesting. So why would you want to blur it out anyway? Seems a bit pointless. So yeah, well done to Austin for that.
Again.
No. Wildlife Snapper says, what aperture are you using now though, Mike? I don't know. Kath, can you press the display button on the camera and see what it says on the screen? Making her work for the money now.
I was checking out you.
So press display.
Mouse ears.
And wait until it goes to all the numbers and stuff on the screen. So you've got the numbers on the screen?
I think so.
And the picture, or just numbers?
Picture.
Keep going, then press it until there's a black screen with just numbers on.
F8.
Oh, yeah, we're at F8 at the moment.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. Say about, yeah, so F8. Ooh, dear, that's horrendous. Oh yeah, that's right, yeah, because that lens does go up to some crazy amounts. I've got a neutral density filter on there for some reason, which really shouldn't be on there. F8, oh. Wildlife Snapper 1, Nikon 58mm, f.95, 9 grand. That is expensive. Click, take care, says, work those glutes, calf. Very true.
I can wheel forward in my chair for that.
Yeah, she has got wheels on the chair. It is from GT Player, or GT Racing even.
It's probably the same one Kev's got.
Wildlife Snapper says, that's why everything is sharp. I'm very lazy when it comes to the camera. I just put it into basically P mode in video. So it's, what's that? I can't think, thingy app. Oh, it's in the aperture mode of whatever it is anyway. I don't understand it very well.
Chunky Weenie hates you.
Chunky Weenies, I hate you. That's very kind. Thanks for spreading some Christmas cheer. Appreciate that a lot. Is there any particular reason why you hate me, or is it just the fact that you are a chunky weenie? So, I'm interested now to see what the response is to this. Now, this is going to be an interesting one. Chunky weenie is going to go in one of two directions. Either A, going to be redeemed and say something which actually I have said something wrong, which I should be ashamed of, or alternatively, it's going to get banned and we'll never see him again.
Tech timed him out. You'll never find out.
Oh, he's been timed out by ClickTech. Damn. He's been timed out for 300 seconds. Will we ever find out the mystery of why Chunky Weenie hates me? To be continued.
In about 300 seconds.
Yeah.
What does the filter do?
What does the filter is supposedly actually it's mostly for outdoors, but I use it primarily as a protection for the lens. So ND filters cost like a couple of quid. Scrum on the front. It's a neutral density. So if you're filming outside, basically makes it so that the sunlight doesn't affect it. So a good example is if you're filming water and there's sun shining on the water, put an ND filter on, you can actually see the water rather than the reflections. It's good. James Miscellaneous says, I love you, Mike, my UK brother from Chunky James. Bless you. Kev didn't like him, says Skystalker. Kenny D says, I'm surprised to see people like that here.
We had a porn star in here once, didn't we?
Yeah, we've had all sorts in. We really have all sorts. Porn stars.
What's his name? Peter North.
Peter North, yeah.
I've never heard of him.
Peter North, he's a really upstanding guy.
But he didn't know what his latest film was.
Yeah, but we asked him what his latest film was, and he didn't know. So either he's up to his eyeballs in Viagra and can't see straight, or I don't know. Skystalker says, very rare we get toxic people in this community. When we do, they don't last long. This is true. This is very true.
We quite like doing that, though.
Patrick says, at least you're not indifferent to him. No, this is true. Wildlife Snapper says, that's a polarizer, Mike, lol. Yeah, that's what I meant to say, but in a very bad way. My my knowledge of camera stuff is limited, and what I mean limited is limited to basically what I do here. So if anyone's got questions about what I do actually here, I pretty much know the answers. But outside of that, if I don't need to know it, I don't bother learning it because there's way too much to learn. It's yeah, there's far too much going on. I watch Camera Conspiracies, which is Casey's channel. And he also got the Vegetable Police channel as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And his humor is brilliant. And he kind of goes through cameras, really high-end, expensive cameras, but has got a very kind of comedic view on them. And so, yeah, I've learned a lot from him. So that didn't say a lot.
Mason said he wants to go to the pub in Cornwall.
Yay, let's all go to the pub.
But we don't do going out, do we?
We don't do going out. Yeah. Paul Lamont says, after 300 seconds, previously on Chunky Weenie. Oh dear. I want to find out now. I actually just want to fast forward time to find out what Chunky Weenie's beef is. Oh dear.
Stick to PCs and I'll stick to cameras.
Yeah, stick to PCs. Cameras are ridiculously expensive, and I really probably could have just got away with just buying an iPhone and be done with it. But there is limitations to it, and actually it's really nice to be able to just plug it. This microphone, I'm loving it. The fact that I can literally spin around, I can move around on my chair.
You can be Kylie Minogue.
I am actually Kylie Minogue. I am spinning around in ecstasy over my new mic. That's really cool. And I don't think the battery level's probably even moved. Oh no, tell a lie, it has dropped down to 2 bars. That is one thing I would have liked to have seen actually, rather than being 3 bars. If it's got a 10-hour lifespan, it'd be nice to have like percentages. Because 3 bars means absolutely dick, really, doesn't it?
But then iPhones have taken the percentage off, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a percentage on there, but I suppose it does a job. It's pretty cool. At least now, when the summer comes, if it ever does, I can actually go out and do some filming out and about in the park or out in the back garden or in the local community.
Or in the studio as usual.
Or in here. And not be tethered to the camera and have to worry about being like 2 meters away, which actually I kind of am all the time. It is a little bit of a downside to have to charge batteries. If only we could find some Tesla pack which never ever needed recharging, they would be absolutely perfect. Other than that, they're alright. Ugly Bob says, I suspect this was the one unlike. Come on, Chunky Beanie. I want to hear what your beef is. I'd imagine it's probably, if it's anything genuine, it'll be something to do with BIOS flash. And it'll be, I've done a BIOS flash and my PC doesn't work. I followed your instructions to the letter and it didn't work. Get that a lot. Even though they've watched the video of me actually doing it. Oh man. Creative Girl of Colour with Danielle B.
You can call her Danielle.
Can I call you Danielle?
Yeah, she said that.
We're cool. Oh, that's right. How about Danny? Or is that a little bit too...
Danny?
Yeah, I'll be Kylie, you can be Danny. We'll be the Minogues. Tom Gregorio says, happy holidays, everyone. Oh, dear. Dave Bell says, should I open another Torres T10 brandy? Yeah. What the hell? It's Christmas. And we might as well destroy your liver, because if not, COVID possibly will, so knock yourself out. Ain't most of it. COVID won't. It shouldn't. Ugly Bob says, Cav, just remember to take it off when he goes to the bog.
Why do I have to take it off?
Because you're in charge of that side of things. She doesn't get it at all. You are the camera operator, which
I mean I've got
which means
the mic off.
What is, because the mic is connected to the camera, so that's part of your jurisdiction now. Otherwise, people.
That was how you broke it last time, wasn't it? Going to the toilet in the middle of the street.
It was the last time I broke one of my mic packs when I had a wireless kit before. Was we'd been drinking in the stream quite a bit, and I thought, well, that's all right. I've got a cordless mic on. It's fine. I'll just go to the toilet in the middle of the stream. And
not in the street.
I stumbled around and then I realised that I had tracksuit bottoms on, which were quite elastic. And as I kind of pulled them down, the mic packs went flying and smashed on the floor. It did work after that, but
not as good.
Not as well. So, drinking accident. What can you say?
It was intermittent, wasn't it? So some videos were okay and others were awful.
Oh, ClickTech Kev says, oh, we've got past the mystery now. So ClickTech says, he said, don't ignore him in his first message, then just sent a load of icons, then said he hated you. Nice bloke on the face of it. I agree.
We love you, junkie.
Patrick Lavel says, dislike is worth as much as likes, but don't tell the haters. It's true. The algorithm doesn't care.
The dislikes only work if you press it twice anyway.
Yeah. That is, yeah, if you want a dislike to really count and to really affect the channel, press it twice. Then YouTube gets a direct notification that you dislike this video and they'll take immediate action against me. So don't forget, press the dislike button twice for that immediate response from YouTube. There you go. Public service announcement, kids. Charles, what are you trying to do with us? What's the deal with the 4080 cards? Bloody hell. We haven't even seen any 3080s yet. Aletta says I had a lot of drinking accidents with my wireless when I was in the band. I can imagine. Danielle says, I'm watching you on 50-inch and it still looks great. Pretty good. The actual, because the camera is actually pretty good and the output's really decent, the stream quality is 1080p, 30 frames per second, and the bitrate is only just over 3000 kilobits per second, so 3 megabytes, which is actually pretty low. Most streamers will probably stream at around about 5.5, maybe 4. So yeah, it's doing pretty good. Ween is gone. I'm upset. Mosine says, Mike, you seen Lizzie on the telly yesterday?
Lizzie Lizard.
Lizzie Lizard? No.
Never.
No. We
did have that discussion. We've never watched her.
Never. Well, the last time I watched the Queen's speech, I think, was probably when I was about 15 or 16. And it was like a family Christmas. Round at my auntie's, and my great gran was there, and she was like in her late 80s or something. Very, very kind of followed the royals and loved the Queen's speech and that. So we all had to shut the hell up for 15 minutes and watch the Queen's speech. I had a box of chocolates, so I was quite happy to shut up.
And a beer.
And a beer, yeah. Wildlife Snapper One's giving us 10 quid. Bless you. 10 quid, as you have given me so much airtime this evening. Oh, we can do this all night. Keep them coming.
I thought it was for you to stop talking cameras.
Ah, yes. I would love to do a channel more dedicated towards camera gear, YouTube tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. But I don't
know anything.
Yeah, but I don't know anything, so it's absolutely pointless. I could do, my name's Mike and I'm an alcoholic, here's how YouTube works. That would be a great channel name.
No, that'd be too long because you had somebody telling you that this week.
Motion says replicant you are, Mike. No, reptilian. Or Republican, one of the two. Disco time, yes, it is disco time. I didn't see the Channel 4 one again. We haven't got a TV license. We don't pay for a TV license for watching terrestrial or digital TV here in the United Kingdom. Because
we used to work for them.
Yeah, because we worked for them and we don't want to pay for them anymore. Defund the BBC. Political. It would be nice to have a political channel. I would love dearly to have a political channel. But in this day and age, you can't. Especially on YouTube, because, yeah, well, we all know. Guido says, off now, great bunch of people here. Thanks to all and have a great day, stroke night. Okay, thank you. It's been nice for you to join us. Bless you.
Who was that, sorry?
Guido, 65.
Bye. Yeah, I see it now. I'm getting lost.
Okay, Mark Point says that would be really awesome. My son wants to be a YouTuber. There's a lot of things that I did in the beginning which I really regret, but also I'm glad I did them so I know the difference now.
Or if you hadn't done it, you wouldn't have known anyway.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things like people don't really tell you, especially when you watch a lot of the channels which I watched, and they say, oh, this is 10 things you must do to get 1,000 views, or do these 3 things to get your first 1,000 subs. And you watch it and it's like, really? None of that works. And the people that say it are generally people who've got either massive channels anyway, so they can say pretty much anything they want and they'll get hundreds of views. It's very frustrating. Paul Lamont, hi, welcome to Mike's Alcoholic YouTube channel. Stay tuned to find out how I became an alcoholic due to YouTube and overwork and overstress. That's fun. It's all good fun. Mosine says, no one wants to go to the pub. Pubs are closed. You can't go to the pubs. Damn it.
You're in Cornwall, I think, aren't you?
Cornwall isn't foreign. It's still part of the UK.
Yeah, tier 2, isn't it?
No.
So they're all open.
Are they?
I think so.
Pubs are open.
In tier 2, they are.
In the country?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. I've learned a new thing, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, the pubs are open somewhere in the United Kingdom. Not here for sure, but somewhere. Patrick Label says, on a more serious note, do you know of any good, simple and easy 2D animation software to do animated logo for video? Not really. There was one I used ages ago. I can't think what it was called though.
What was that?
It was 3D one, but you could do 2D as well for animation. I did make a very early version of the Mike's Unboxing logo on it. I can't think what it was called now. I'll see if I can find it out for next week. Kieran Atkinson says, I'm late. Hope you all had a great Christmas. We're enjoying that Intel build as a PS4, PS5 replacement. Oh dear. So, I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. Do I do an Intel build? I kind of want to.
Do it for James.
I'll do it for James, just to please James, because James loves Intel. James and Intel are like that. See, that's James, that's Intel, all cuddled up together. Isn't it cute? No, it's not. He doesn't like Intel. I'm being facetious. Here we're in tier 4 here as well.
Actually, just down the road was tier 2, wasn't it? So they would have been open.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But I think they've gone to tier 3 now.
TV license, oh my god, you have to apply for it with the government. No, basically, if you've got a TV in your house which is capable of receiving terrestrial TV channels or digital TV channels, and also technically a radio as well. So if you listen to radio in the United Kingdom, you are supposed to have a TV license. The TV license also covers radio. So
and anything live. It's meant to be for
yeah,
one channel.
it's basically for live stuff. It's essentially it supports the British Broadcasting Corporation, which is what was subsidised. But then the other independent channels also get a slice of it based on basically a dodgy thing they've done ages ago. But essentially it means that the BBC is technically impartial and advertisement free. I'll say no more. Kenny D, quick question. Is a Ryzen 7 2700 a worthwhile upgrade over 1600? Depends on what you're doing. Essentially, no, is the honest answer. Unless you're doing video editing or something which uses a lot of cores, there isn't really a great deal of difference. You get a little bit of an uplift in single core performance, and you get slightly better memory performance going from first gen to first plus gen or second gen, however you want to call it. Probably not. I would say you'd get a more benefit going to a 3600 than you would a 2700.
How much is a TV license?
Dutch Jan says, just got my Ryzen 5 5600X. Where did you get that from? What country are you in? I'm guessing by your name. I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I'm going to guess that you're Dutch. So therefore you're in Dutchland. The stream lag is terrible. I'm really waiting for an answer. And where is Chubby Wiener, whatever his name was? I miss Chubby Wiener. Skystalker says that whole TV license is a silly, silly thing.
How much is that?
It is.
£157.50.
It's £157 a year that we don't have to pay now. So that is the equivalent of what? Like 8,000 Canadian dollars or something? It's a ridiculous amount of money. Ridiculous. Aletta says, I haven't had a TV for over 10 years. I was going to say something, but I won't.
It's because you can't get a water cooler in it.
Yeah. If you could water cool the tube in the back of it, she would get one. Yeah, she would definitely get one. Kenny D, mostly gaming and light video editing. Well, if it's gaming and light video editing, you might find a slight improvement. It's never night and day whenever you're doing these processor updates. I don't think I've ever really noticed a huge uptick in performance since I went from the Intel i7 2600K to the Ryzen 7 1700X. That was quite a noticeable jump. But ever since then, it's all been kind of like, well, this is a bit faster, or this benchmark runs faster. There's never been really a huge jump for me. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, Dutch Jan, you didn't say how much that you paid for it either. And if you could transfer it into English United Kingdom Earth pounds, that would be fantastic. Dutch Jan, but I live in Germany. Okay, Oh, I was quite close actually, because I did say the Dutchland, which is almost Deutschland. I want to see. Is Dutch Jan, is that male or female? I shouldn't ask because it's not politically correct. In some snowflake somewhere it's going to be, oh, you shouldn't ask what sex someone is, what importance is it? Well, it's important to me. I want to bloody know. Kath's looking at me very disappointed.
I'm not.
I used to have a boss called Jan. He was a he Jan, not a she Jan. Because Jan could be short for Janet, or it could just be Jane or Jan.
Nobody shortens Jane to Jan.
Didn't they not? There might be someone somewhere. Let's not rule it out.
It's the same amount of syllables. Why would you?
What, Jane and Jan?
Yeah, it's one syllable.
How can that be one syllable?
Jane, Jan. It's one syllable.
The E on the end gives you the other syllable.
Janie.
Jan.
Jan is
Jane.
Ask. How many syllables in Jane? How many syllables in Jan? It's one.
ClickTech Kev says Jan pronounced Yan. Yes, kind of. Ugly Bob's triggered. Aletta says I love PCs, but I'm not PC. Moheen says reported, lol. All these exciting questions that we don't get to have answered.
Dutch Jan is a man.
Dutch Jan is a man. So is it Jan or Jan?
Don't wanna.
It's going to be difficult to explain through text. Regardless.
Where was your boss from? Or
I don't know. Lewis is surname, so English, I guess. Who knows? Sokengel says Jan or Jan is a man's name here in Norway. Edward Cuss says, serious question for you. Here we go, brace yourself. Would there be any benefit going from 16 gig 3600 MHz CL18 and replacing it with 16 gigs of 32 MHz CL14 RAM? Yes, because traditionally CL36 3600 MHz RAM at CL18 is about where it should be. That is kind of the norm. If you were getting high performance stuff, it would be CL16. So if you're getting 3200 MHz, that generally tends to be CL16 to begin with, sometimes 15 if you pay a bit more. So having CL14 means it's got even tighter timings. So the tighter timings in a lot of things probably will make things a little bit better. It is going to be dependent on the processor. So if you're running it with a 3000 series processor, you'll probably see potentially better benefit from the 3600 with a tighter timing if you can get it tighter. Whereas if you're using it with a 2000 series processor, that works really well with the 3200 MHz RAM because of the Infinity fabric. So yeah, the tighter timings will be better. Depends what it is. If you're using mostly memory intensive tasks, then tighter memory timings are going to make those tasks quicker and less latency. Also, again, I suppose it goes into the chipset and the processor due to the memory latency inherent with the 1000 and 2000 series chips. So yeah, technically 16 gigs of 3200 CL14 would be faster in general use than CL18 3600. Thank you. Jan. That's what, yes, I thought that might be. Yeah, Edward, actually, that's a good idea. Speak to Aletta. She is the memory clock queen.
She is scary at those things.
She is quite scary at those things, yeah.
I didn't say that, I was Sky Stalker.
ClickTech says, good joystick controller for FS 2020. I'm going to say the Logitech Flight Stick Pro, which I still need to use in anger because I still haven't. I've used it briefly, but not for a long time, so I need to do that. Value for money wise, can't go wrong. Actually, it's been on the market for like 10 years or so, and you don't sell stuff in the PC space for more than 10 years if it's rubbish. So there's a good reason why it's still in vogue. James Missing says, Aletta doesn't know anything, she just dumps water on everything. That would probably work. Water and snow. Excellent cooling properties.
And what's that Guinness she drinks?
Oh, I can't remember.
Moo-moos.
There we go. Aletta's come out with the definitive answer, which I didn't expect. She says no. I was running 16 gigs 3800 CL14, and now I'm running 64 gigs of 3600 CL20, and there's no difference in gaming or my apps. And there you go. Benchmark-wise, you might find differences. Most, like I said earlier, the whole point of having benchmarks and these graphs in videos is literally just to show the minute differences. Because more times than not, you can't really tell. You generally can't. And I've done the, excuse me. Actually, there's a better way I can do that now, because I do actually have a mute button. So if I press that, that's better. Can you hear me now? Here you go, I can see you. Soaked and Jill says, yeah, it depends on CPU. It does. That is, it's all about balance in the system. There's no point having a rocket fast CPU and then having a crap motherboard or crap RAM, or even a crap power supply for that matter. And actually, talking about crap power supplies, has anybody seen, this is actually quite close to my heart, because I'm quite a large advocate of GameMax products in general. I use their keyboard and mouse on a daily basis.
I use their PC.
Cav's got their case, the F15 now.
Only because you got a different one.
Cav's actually got a GameMax power supply in as well. But another YouTuber, Aussie guy by the name of Yes City, actually had a power supply which was recommended to him by a few people. And I think it was a VP 650 they called it. And he did a review on it, and basically it was rubbish. Absolutely horrendous, and did worse than like a Cooler Master 450 or 400 watt or something like that. I think it was a 450. Basically, it got hot, didn't smell very good, and it was using way too much voltage and too much wattage for what it should have been. Apparently there has been some response from GameMax themselves saying that they don't actually make that model number of power supply, so potentially it's a forgery. I've not looked into it in a massive amount of detail, so I'm actually considering, because there is actually a register of all companies with power supplies with the various part numbers and what specs they passed, which you can look up and you can see what they passed, what they've gained, which countries they've gained it in, because obviously energy efficiency in America is very different from energy efficiency in the UK because of different voltages, etc. So you have to take that into consideration as well. So an 80 plus bronze here is almost a silver or a gold in the US because of the way that they translate. So it's often difficult for us in the UK to equally recommend a power supply against the US version, unless it's specifically designed for the US market or the UK market. But anyway, so yeah, I was not overly kind of, I watched the first one, I thought, oh, here we go, another YouTuber slamming on some product. And then I kind of looked into a bit more, and it's like, it did make a lot of sense what he was saying. So fair play, he did go through and do some pretty decent testing. It's not entirely scientific, but certainly it did get the job done and highlighted the differences. But yeah, GameMax apparently don't make that particular model, so it's potentially a forgery. But if it's got to the point where people are actually forging GameMax power supplies, like what the hell is going on? Yeah, forge an iPhone, forge some AirPods, forge a Galaxy S20 or something, but a GameMax power supply? Are you shitting me? Like, there are budget power supplies anyway, so why on earth would you try and make up a brand? I guess it kind of works because GameMax is one of those brands which you kind of almost expect to be value-orientated products. So seeing a slightly different variation of a product, it wouldn't jump out at you immediately and go, that is a forgery, that doesn't exist. Whereas if they did it with EVGA or Corsair, and they gave it a slightly different part number, yeah, immediately you'd be like, I've never seen that part number before. Quick internet search, has anybody else reviewed it? No. So what the F is going on? So that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I was just interested what you guys thought about it. I've got a GameMax power supply and CAFS PC, so I'm definitely going to take a look at that because it's the GP500, I think. Pretty sure it's that. But yeah, I certainly need to look at that. James Massilian says, I'm going to forge Mike's unboxing t-shirts. Dave Bell says, GameMax are lying. The funny thing is, GameMax is a slightly unusual company in the way that it's set up. So GameMax as a brand name are owned by GameMax, the company. But they also then kind of, almost like McDonald's, they franchise out the brand. So GameMax UK, for instance, is a subsidiary or franchise off of the main GameMax company. And the same, if you go to somewhere like Twitter or Instagram and look for GameMax, you'll see there's loads of different entries. GameMax UK, GameMax USA, GameMax BR, Brazil, etc. You get the general idea. So each one of those companies is like an individual company in itself, which is not affiliated with the main company as such. If that makes sense. So they've got their individual regions which kind of buy into the brand. At least that's the way I see that it's happened. That may have changed now. They may all be under one umbrella company. It may well have changed, but from what I can tell, the GameMax company is kind of separate for each region. So I don't know how it works in Australia. There may be GameMax Oz or whatever. It might be different. So I'm actually really looking forward to looking into that and seeing what the deal is. Is it a global thing? Can you still buy those power supplies in... Actually, for those of you in various parts of the world right now, have a quick look on eBay or Amazon and look for the power supply and see if you can find it. I think they called it a VP650 GameMax. So yeah, just do a quick search and tell me if you can find one. I'll be actually quite interested to see where it is available. If it's only available in Australia, then it could well be that the Australian version of GameMax has imported some power supplies, stuck the badge on, and they're chucking them out the door. It may not be just Australia, maybe around the world, who knows? But I think that's one of the ways where it will differ. Also, as well, from what I can tell from the packaging when I looked at the video, the packaging looked pretty naff, and he did buy them off eBay. So it could be that there's someone who's been a little bit crafty, got some other power supplies and rebranded them. I didn't have a close enough look at it. Some of the GameMax power supplies actually have GameMax kind of embossed into the metal, which would tell you immediately if it is one of their products or not. So yeah, be interested to see what the deal is with that. Yeah, the Stuart Cleary says the GP500 is 31 quid on Amazon. The GP500 is a legit one. That's what I've got in CAFS PC, and that's absolutely fine. It's the VP, so Victor Papa. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the wind is really starting to kick up. We've got a wood burner there, like a closed off wood burner.
It's not closed off, it's
what do they call it?
Off with rubbish.
No, what's the
wood burner?
The sealed thing? You have an open one, don't you? You have a...
It's a wood burner, it's not an open fire.
All right. It's, yeah, it's a wood burner with a thing on the front, a handle and a door. But you can hear the wind whistling through the chimney, so...
Wood burning stove. Wood
burning stove, that's the one. Well done. Top parts.
Otherwise it would be an open fire if it didn't have a stove in there.
Skystalker says people still buy things from eBay. VP550 is Antec. Yes, I think it is actually, yeah. I think it's a 650 he had in the video. And the weird thing was the 12 volt rail was about 34 amps, which is really low for a 650 watt power supply. That is what you'd expect to see on like a 450 or a 500. Quite often when I've been buying the budget ones, such as the Cylon. Where's the Cylon? I will grab it. It's covered in cat's hair.
That's what they're saying, your t-shirts, your nerve is fake, it's not got hair on it.
Yeah, I'll have cat hair if it's a real one. So this is a 80 plus white rated power supply from Aerocool.
Glenn's going.
Oh, bye, Glenn. See you later, mate. This is this is a 500 watt power supply, and on the back there, it's the 12 volt rail is 37 amps. So this is more powerful than the 650 version of the GameMax one. And even that at 500 watts, I would say, is kind of stretching it a little bit. So voltage times amperage, what's 12 times 37, somebody? Is it 444 watts?
Yeah, 444.
444, so that works out as well, which was another thing on the label on the GameMax one. The voltage times the amperage didn't work out to be the wattage, so yeah, that's a little weird. So yeah, this effectively, even though it says a 500 watt power supply, realistically it's a 450. But it's got a pretty decent amperage on it, so for budget systems, absolutely fine. Anyway, I digress. Kev's shut the link in there, well done. God bless you, Mary Poppins. So Mark Griffiths says the GameMax GP 550. Yeah, it's a VP, not a GP. I know it sounds very similar, but
not a TP.
Not a TP or a sheepy. Website says 44 amps for the Kev saying, so yeah, that makes sense.
You're a maths whiz. No, I got a calculator button on my keyboard.
Yeah, and I read it off the box.
And that's the whole reason I needed that keyboard, because I love my calculator button.
Ricardo says, I was about to buy an Aerocool PSU before the Thermaltake 650 plus bronze. They were the same price, Thermaltake won. Thermaltake makes some pretty decent power supplies. Actually, Thermaltake have reached out to us and said, can you think of any interesting or novel ways of testing our new range of power supplies? And I'm like, no. Sorry. They're like, they said, we know you don't have like any specific hardware for testing power supplies, but can you think of any kind of interesting ways of testing one? And it's like, no, a power supply is a power supply. It's one of the least interesting parts of a PC. I'd rather review case feet and the differences in rubber tolerances on case feet than I would a power supply. Power supplies are very, very boring. Yes. Yes. Ugly Bob says it's cooler, not cooler.
Say calculator, they don't actually saying that as well.
Calculator?
Want that one that you made fun of you?
Here, where's my calculator? Right, I just realised what the damn time is.
Has anyone lost sound? Have you got batteries on?
Battery is still functioning. All the lights are on. The lights are on. Yeah, I've got motion on there, so I can see the VU meter.
Yeah, I can see it on mine actually.
Yeah, it's looking good. Mark Griffiths, anyone lost sound? No, I don't think so. Should be all right. Yes, should be fine. Can you hear me now? Actually, looking at that footage there, that does look a bit blurry compared with that. Oh well. Sound is good, okay. James Miscellaneous says, I'd review PSUs, but I don't have enough experience with an oscilloscope. Me neither, I don't even own one.
Can't even say it.
I can barely say it, let alone use one. Okay, so I think that's going to pretty much wrap this one up. We've gone on for 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is longer than normal. So for those of you that have joined us tonight on the Boxing Day stream, for those of you that just couldn't be arsed to get up and turn it off, we thank you for staying with us to the end. For those of you that are in a food coma and didn't even realise you're watching it, I'm sorry to put you through it, and you may well be scarred. To other people, such as Chubby Wiener, my apologies for not replying to your immediate text response and voice response. I do apologise, but yeah, feel free to leave a comment in the video after it's gone live on YouTube, and maybe we can discuss it, and I'll try not to ignore you in future. But as you can probably appreciate, at the time there was around about 100 concurrent viewers, and there's a lot of stuff to take into consideration. So my apologies if I didn't get around to answering your question. It wasn't intentional. As is the same with anyone, if you ask a question, I don't answer it immediately. Just keep on asking. Eventually I will, but yeah, Don't get rude.
Not too spammy though.
Don't spam the shit out of it.
People will block you.
Yeah, you will get blocked. So, hope you all had a good Boxing Day. Sorry to end it like this, but hey, it was your choice. You clicked on it, not me. Thanks to everyone who's donated with super chats, etc. We do appreciate that also.
I don't think we get on for something though, do we?
Kath's standing up for some reason, or do you just need a poop? Stuart Cleary has given us €10 and says thank you. Thank you, Stuart. Appreciate it.
We don't
And
put lights on the stickers.
yeah, the lights don't come on with the stickers for some reason. YouTube's rubbish. Also, Stuart, we do enjoy your posts on Facebook, so keep them up. Sleep well. Yes, Chubby Wiener, have a great night's sleep and all that kind of stuff. Again, everyone who's chipped in with super chats, we do appreciate it. And you never know, we've almost got enough to get a that Intel CPU, so we might just do it just to piss off James. You never know. Yes, Chubby Snowflake. So thank you all so much for joining us. I will be on our Discord in the video with the webcam and all that kind of crap. So while I'm de-rigging the studio, if you want to join us on Discord, on the voice chat, and you've got a webcam and a mic and all that, feel free to join us, and we'll carry on, have a couple more beers and probably talk shit for the rest of the evening. So if you want to join us, please feel free to do it. Have a great New Year's. I don't think we're going to be doing another stream until then, because what's the date today? No.
It'll be the 2nd, won't it?
That'll be the 2nd, I think. We might do something on New Year's night. I don't know. We'll see how things go. So yeah, we might do a stream on New Year's. So although New Year's is different time in every place anyway, so that might work out very weird.
We've done it before though. Yeah,
entirely up to you guys. But anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. If you want to join us in the Discord, links are in the video description below. But in the meantime, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.